Let's talk about what an entry-level position looks like in tech sales. A lot of times I'll meet people out and about, they'll ask me what I do for a living, we'll talk a little bit about how I sell to enterprises, but I want to be able to really focus in on what an entry-level tech sales position looks like. So the first thing is, they're usually categorized in two spaces. Sometimes you'll see a listing for a business development representative, and then you'll also see another term, sales development representative. All that entails is both are the same entry-level position that leads to a senior level role. And I'll break down those here in a bit, but I want to make sure that people are aware that those two terms are what you want to look for when you want to break into any high-level business-to-business software sales role today. All right, what is a role like an SDR or BDR position consist of? Well, it's pretty simple. Your job is to get meetings, generate pipeline. That's the only thing you should care about. So 9 years ago when I started my tech sales career, I was pounding the phones. This was a very different time. Now a lot of things are more automated, but a tool that I used was the telephone. I would have a list of, let's say, it really depends on how many accounts you have, but let's say you work as an SDR BDR and you have a patch, maybe let's just say the Southwest. So you would only target, let's say 100, let's say you had 100 companies, you supported 3 senior reps. All that means is your job is to generate meetings with new clients or current accounts and get as many meetings and generate as much pipeline as possible for those senior reps. So the role that I'm in today, I have a BDR that sets meetings. Their quota usually consists of 20 to 30 meetings a month, which seems like a lot, but when you're pumping out so much volume, whether through the telephone, you're using a combination of phone, email, LinkedIn, maybe some networking, maybe you're doing some partner events with your senior AEs. Those will all help consist and develop a number of meetings, let's say to 20 meetings or so forth for the accounts that you have. So really it's pretty simple. You're able to generate pipeline for the organization and that's your job, nothing else. It's pretty clear cut and simple. Now the strategies on how people are able to get those interviews, the strategy around getting those meetings is very subjective today. So I've seen a lot of videos of people that have been in tech sales, and a lot of times they'll talk about spray and pray. You'll hear this a lot of times where I've seen SDRs talk about, oh, I pounded the phones 100 times. Nowadays, it just really depends on how big your patch is. If you have 100 accounts, I could see you making 100 calls. But if you've got, let's say, 50 to 20, you have to be very methodical in how you're getting into accounts. The role I'm in today, I only have 15 to 16 accounts, so I can't use a spray and pray method. And my BDR that I work with, they can't be blasting the accounts that I have because they'll be blacklisted, they won't be able to get in, they're going to piss off customers, which you definitely don't want to have. Then you also, at the end of the day, right, you don't want to be blacklisted because I have to work with those accounts for the rest of the year. You're going to develop a very negative relationship with your AE. So another avenue and another suggestion I would also make when trying to get an entry-level position, be cognizant that you're not just working by yourself. A lot of times people think that, but when you're interviewing for a very good tech sales organization, they'll have a layered process where they'll pair you up with a senior level AE to, one, generate pipeline, but two, develop almost like a mentorship unofficially. So when I first started out, I was paired up with 3 AEs. I got really close to one of them who happened to be one of the top reps, and he took me under his wing as a mentor-mentee type of relationship. But I was able to see what life would look like as I progressed my career, because nobody wants to be a BDR or SDR for more than a year. I was only an SDR for around a good 6 months before I was promoted to a senior level BDR and then finally into an account manager. So all in all, that was about a year and a half, but long story short is nobody wants to be doing that role. Although it's fun and those are the fundamentals to generating pipeline and being a really good AE in the future, it's not eventually you will get burnt out. And the long money is in the AE realm. So that's all to say that if you are able to stay focused, if you are able to look for an entry-level role, those are the two intertwined roles that you want to be able to target and look for. Now, let's talk about what a good tech sales organization looks like. A lot of times people talk about working for these big box firms, but name isn't everything. I started my career early on by working for a small reseller shop. They were selling just data center hardware which is null and void now, right? A lot of organizations aren't even using hardware. Organizations today are using a combination of cloud products, software as a service, those types of things. But I really want people to be able to focus on, if they're looking to break into tech sales, focus on an organization that has a really good training process in play. What I mean by that is they have a really good process where they have a route to becoming an AE, or at least they have a solid training foundation that you can take, that you can learn from, use that and bolster into another organization after you've been successful as a BDR or SDR. All of these things that you learn now, it's almost like sports, right? You're dribbling a basketball, you're learning how to do a crossover, you're learning how to do a layup, eventually a free throw, pretty soon you're shooting from the three-point line, and you're developing different mixed level types of plays. That same analogy carries over into the sales arena. When you have all these specific fundamentals in play, when you're senior level AE or when you go into leadership, you know what to look for. You know exactly what a good cold call sounds like. You know exactly what a good account plan looks like when you're breaking into an account. You know what a good org chart looks like when you're trying to break into an account that's already been paying you money, but you want to be able to farm out to different teams and organizations. That's where the big money's at. You'll have all of those things in play, but you need to be able to master the fundamentals first. So cold calling, email scripts, knowing how to leverage different types of automation tools to cut down on the amount of time, LinkedIn, how to run thorough searches. I'm really going to be developing this channel a little bit more as we progress throughout the year, and I want to be able to share different tidbits that have worked for me. But I'm here as a resource, right? Those are a couple things that I wanted to share with you today. But again, like, subscribe, comment below. What things are you looking for? What things do you need help on? Message me as well, and we'll talk soon.